a couple minutes. David Hill, Scott Wall, Good evening, everyone. I hereby call this meeting to order. And I'd like to welcome each and every one of you for coming, taking time out of your busy days. Before we begin, I have a couple of announcements. The Montgomery County Gazette is going to record the debate tonight, and publication will be available Wednesday for viewing. So that is the Montgomery County Gazette. Next, I need you all to silence your phones during the debate, and please refrain from any talking or comments during the debate to give everyone the opportunity to hear each of the candidates. At this time, I'd like to welcome the State of Texas Minister, Scott Wall, who will do the invocation, and our own Precinct 5 Constable, David Hill, who will lead the Pledge of Allegiance and Texas Flag Pledge. Would everyone stand and remove their hats?
Please join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, we recognize what a responsibility that you have given each of us in our communities, in our state, in our country, in our world. We want to be good stewards of the time and the talents and treasures you have entrusted to each of us. So this evening we gather together to look to who the next leaders are going to be for our area. We just ask that you would guide tonight, first of all, and that you would guide them as leaders, that they would make decisions that are pleasing to you, and they'll be a benefit to all. So we give our time to you and trust that you will be pleased. In your Son, Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
We'll do the American flag first. Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Great job. Great job, Scott. Constable Hill. Okay, thank you again for coming. And this is a great crowd. And at this time, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Jackie Grable. I am president of the Magnolia Area Republican Women. And I'd like to introduce our newly installed officers of the MARW. So if you'll, Kristen's not here, but I'd like to introduce her anyway. It's Kristen Chris. She's our first vice president. She handles legislative and media. And unfortunately, she can't be here tonight. And Linda Stuckey, would you please stand? She is our second vice president. She is in charge of membership and hospitality. Candace Kavitz, all the way in the back, she's our PAC treasurer. Mary Gilbert, there you are. She's our secretary, and is Yvette Castro here? She is our campaign activities chair. So again, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight, and also for those who helped setting up tonight's candidate forum. A big thank you, especially to the young Republicans of Magnolia High School. They came in early and set the room up for us, and they did a great job. And they're over in the corner. I'd also like to recognize the following businesses who donated your refreshments for tonight. The bottled water was donated by Gary Hefner. He's the manager of HEB on exit 1488 and Tamina. Are you here, Mr. Hefner? And the tea that was donated by Lisa Penn's husband. He has
Raising Cane's.
Raising Cane's in Conroe. And the cookies were donated by Linda and Troy Stuckey. So thank you to all of our generous donors. A big thank you goes out to each of the elected officials, the candidates, and the 3 moderators for taking their time to participate in this forum. It's a lot of work to set one of these up. I would like to share some very important information with you before we begin. So if you have a pencil out, mark your calendars. It's about voting. Early voting in Montgomery County begins on February 20th, 2018 and ends March 2nd, 2018. That's early voting. And during early voting, you can vote at any of the early voting polling locations in Montgomery County. That's only for early voting. On Election Day, if you decide to vote, is Tuesday, March 6, 2018, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can only vote at your precinct polling location on this day. Some of the polling locations have changed, so I encourage you to get on the website and check it out. It's mctx.org/election to find your voting location. I encourage each and every one of you to vote. Even if a candidate is running unopposed, it is still very important to vote because your votes count. Since we have quite a few candidates to hear from, we're going to get started. So I am going to turn the mic over to Brett Ligon. I'm sorry, Brett. He's going to read off our elected officials and our candidates.
Come what you want, just don't call me late to dinner, right? All right, I'll ask that everybody hold their applause. First thing we're going to do, take a little bit out of order. I said the other night, these candidates may not get your vote, but I would hope that they would at least get your respect and your applause. And I would ask that you hold your applause until after we've announced all the candidates. One of the reasons we're going to do the candidates first is because in reality, that's what we're here for, is to hear what they have to say. So when I say your name as a candidate, merely stand up, wave, and I'll move on to the next person and would ask that everybody hold your applause till the end, okay? First candidate is the incumbent Precinct 2, Charlie Riley. Precinct 2 Commissioner, Commissioner Riley, stand there at the back. Number 2, Jackie Waters, House District 15, State Representative. Jackie, did I see you?
Right here.
Here are Jackie, thank you. The next is Melanie Bush, running for County Treasurer. Melanie. The next one is Terrence Big Bars, okay. Party Chair. Where's Terrence? Thank you, Terrence. Love your both out. Next one is Gregory Parker, running for County Commissioner number 2. Correct? There in the back. Next one is Mark Keogh, running for County Judge. Mark, I haven't had a chance to see you this evening. Stand there in the back. Not wearing your both out. Next one is Jeannie Stewart. Jeannie's running for our County Clerk position. Jeannie up here. Mark Frank, Conroe City Council. Mark, are you here? Thank you. Dan Zentek, running for Justice of Peace, Precinct 3. Dan, saw you earlier. Next is Stephanie Davenport, County Treasurer, running for County Treasurer. Stephanie, are you here? Melissa Miller, running for District Clerk. Melissa, over here in the corner. Maureen Ball, Precinct 29, running for Precinct 29. I'm Maureen. Steve Toth, Gene Mann is here for Steve Toth, our state rep. Gene? Okay, that's who signed in. And then lastly, Cynthia Jameson is a candidate for District Clerk. Cynthia? Okay, thank you. I did not grab my glasses. So. All right, thank you. Those were the candidates, and if you would, a round of applause for the candidates. You ought to know better. Craig Dole, runner for County Judge. Craig Dole did not, as a candidate, did I miss it? Craig Dole standing in the back. Thank you, Judge.
Hey,
and Cecil Bell.
I didn't know better because I'm also a candidate.
Okay.
Photo box 29.
So here's the candidate sheet. Mark candidate sign-in sheet. I see Cecil just walked in. Cecil, how are you? Linda, stand up here. Linda, what are you a candidate for?
Voter box 29.
Voter box 29. So when it says candidate sheet, who done this, ain't it? Okay. Now, I had special directions. I was following those directions. I was not to mention Brandon or Kevin Brady for a secret reason. So we're not going to discuss it. All right. Brandon Craig. Hey, Brandon, how are you this evening? Now I can say your name. Good to see you this evening. All right, and so we have our elected officials sign in also. Some of these names you're already familiar with. We have Precinct 2 Commissioner Charlie Riley. Charlie. We have Ginger Russell, Precinct 74 Chair. Where's Ginger? Say hello to her husband. Christy Baker, Magnolia ISD School Board. Christy, where are you? Mark Keogh, State Rep. Mark, how are you? The name that I won't mention is next. Next is Stephanie Davenport, County Treasurer. Gary Blizzard, MISD School Board. It's going to be a blizzard tomorrow. Look, I'm a dad. It's a dad joke. All right. Melody Bush, the ISD Board President. Dr. Wally Wilkerson, our County Chair. Dr. Wilkerson. There in the corner. Mark Thornbrough, our County Clerk. Mark. Another name I can't mention. Then Brett Ligon, District Attorney. Linda Stuckey, Precinct 29. J.D. Lambright, my favorite county attorney. J.D., good to see you this evening. And Julie Fowler, TFRW VP Legislation. She said enunciate clearly. Did I enunciate clearly enough? Ladies and gentlemen, those are not only your elected officials, but many of those are candidates as well. Somebody's pointing me to Judge Doyle. So these are candidate and elected officials sign-in sheets. So, County Judge Craig Doyle standing there directly with my iPad. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, they may not get your vote. Hopefully they'll get your respect. And certainly give them all a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you, Brett Ligon. Okay, I would like to go ahead. I know he introduced Brandon Creighton, but he is the Texas State Senate District 4 Speaker. It is my honor and my privilege to introduce a guest speaker who is going to give you an update of what has taken place in D.C. He is our U.S. Congressman. He is our Chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, and he is a member of the U.S. House of Representatives from the 8th District in Texas. Give it up for Congressman Kevin Brady.
Thanks. Jackie, thank you very much for allowing me to just give a brief update. Thank you to the Magnolia Republican Women's Club. Every candidate and every elected official will tell you our Republican women run our state. They do such a great job for us. They work day in and day out. We're so grateful for all that you do. On behalf of each of the candidates and elected officials, thank you to the club members who are here tonight. I know they gave you a little time to speak. I want to be very brief. Because as Brett said, this is about our candidates. Leadership matters at every level of our community and state. We've got great candidates today. First, let me say thank you. Thank you to your prayers throughout tax reform. There's a reason it only happens once a generation. Because for a country, it is about the hardest thing we do. I found this out myself. In your prayers, it was the hardest thing I've ever worked on by tenfold. And I could tell that when there were tough days and working with the President so closely, where we had to fight through sort of the special interests and status quo, your prayers made such a difference in what we were trying and ultimately did achieve. First, I don't know about you, but I've been tired of watching over the years, watch our companies one by one move their jobs and their headquarters and their manufacturing overseas. To China and Europe and Canada and Mexico. I was tired of watching our small businesses struggle, of our young people coming out of school without good jobs and lots of debt. I was tired of watching middle-class Americans in Texas struggle along with the same paycheck for a decade or more. It was time to change. And we had a tax code so costly, so complex, President Reagan, who succeeded in reforming it, wouldn't even recognize what we have today. It was time for a change for our country. I was proud to lead the Ways and Means Committee and introduce the tax reform bill. I was especially proud to be chosen to work out the differences between the House and Senate and get this to the President's desk. When I took over this effort, I set out two goals. I want a tax code built for growth. the growth of jobs, your paychecks, and America's economy. And I wanted a tax code that leapfrogged America from nearly dead last among our competitors around the world into the lead pack and keep us there. So we'd be the best place on the planet for that next new job, that next new company, that next new breakthrough. And we achieved those goals, growth and leapfrogging to the lead. So there are 3 important dates for all of us in America to remember. New Year's Day that we just celebrated. That was the day we got a new tax code for a new era of American prosperity. Long overdue. In February, most of us will be able to look to our paychecks and see a change, keeping more of what we earn, because the new tax tables just got put out last week, and now we'll be able to lower what we take from our paychecks each week so we can make ends meet a little better here in Texas and in Magnolia. And then April 15th, that hated April 15th. This April 15th will be the last time you'll ever file your taxes under that old, terrible tax code. Yeah, April 15th. And so we begin, with the new one. And what we did was look first, we focused on leapfrogging America. We now have the lowest tax rates on our businesses in modern history. We redesigned it so our companies, our local businesses, can compete and win anywhere in the world, especially here at home. And when they compete and win for the first time in history, they'll be able to bring those earnings back to America at 0 tax rate, to reinvest in Magnolia, in Montgomery, in Texas, and in America. For Main Street businesses, we've created the lowest tax rates for our Main Street businesses because I was a Chamber of Commerce manager. I helped start a lot of small businesses. I know how hard it is. It is the hardest job around. You need to keep more of what you earn. And so we lowered the taxes for our Main Street businesses, the new small business deduction. And we made sure every business in America now, sheriff, can write off immediately the year you buy it, that new plant, new equipment, new manufacturing, new technology. You don't write off over 10 years, you write it, or 20 or 30, it's now. Keep more of what you earn. For families, here's the big question. Who decides how you spend your money? Is it Washington or is it you? We decided it was you. So we lowered tax rates for every American. We doubled the child tax credit because it's expensive to raise kids. We kept in place the things that matter, like charitable contributions to your church, the cause you believe in. We made the tax code simpler, so much so that 9 out of 10 Americans will be able to file their taxes using a simple postcard-style system. And it works. For Texas, this tax reform means creating 81,000 new jobs. And a family of 4 here in Magnolia, 2 teachers with 2 kids, will see a tax cut of nearly $3,000. Now I know Ginger in Washington, they kind of sneer at that, but in America, $3,000 really matters. It's car payments, it's utility bills, it's saving for college, it's deciding what you want to use with your money. And so at the end of the day, we made big changes in our tax code. But, so you might ask, how will we know it's working? The answer is we're already starting to see it. Right now, just since the New Year's Day, we now have millions of Americans who have already seen a pay raise, new bonuses, better savings plan, better benefits. Already, we have hundreds of companies that have already pledged to invest more in America. In one, here in Texas, had already announced they're moving their headquarters overseas. Last week they announced they're keeping it here in Texas. Assurance of keeping it here in Texas. And now, the optimism among small businesses and people looking for jobs, good quality jobs, are at a 17-year high, just since the beginning of the year. Not that those early signs are really encouraging, but the long term is what I was focused on. I want to leapfrog America. I want to make sure we're bringing jobs back from overseas. It wasn't enough just to stop them from leaving. It's time they come back to America. And then this new tax code, that's exactly what we're going to see. It took a lot of hard work. And I'll tell you, I was blessed all the way. And I was especially blessed, and I'll finish with this, I was especially blessed to work with President Trump so closely on it. And I love it. I will just tell you, it was terrific. Probably the biggest reason we passed this is that early in the spring we decided, unlike health care, the President, House Republicans, Senate Republicans are going to get on the same page. And he agreed. We spent 3 months working together, put together a tax reform plan, one tax reform plan for America. He stayed at the table with us. I can't tell you how many phone calls I had with him. Early in the morning, late at night, one time at 3 in the morning, another time during Hurricane Harvey, which we pulled together so beautifully on. He called while I finished a long day, just got back from Austin, trying to make sure Montgomery County was part of the disaster assistance, which we did. And it's, I don't know, 10, 11 o'clock at night. I've just gotten on the exercise bike because I needed to. And he called to see how can I help in Texas? What can I do for your communities? On and on and on, call after call, meeting after meeting. I will just tell you, I love working with him. He knew what we wanted to do to make America great. He knew what we needed to do to help our local businesses. And he agreed we need to let families control what they earn, not Washington control what you earn. And so I've really been blessed, and I'll finish with this. Look, this tax reform, it was awfully good for America. It's going to be awfully good. But here's the main point. There is no limit to what we can do when Republicans unite around our president and deliver on our campaign promises. When we do what we said we would do, like in tax reform, we can change the direction of this country for the better. We can do it in every community, in every state. If we'll just unite, worry less about ourselves and more about the country we're trying to turn around and get in the right direction, there's no limit to what we can do. And speaking of that, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate, and the whole country took note of how we responded to Hurricane Harvey. Man, our communities pulled together. There was no black or white, Republican, Democrat, nothing. Just neighbors helping each other, and really the whole world took notice. We have a lot to be proud of. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of this amazing county we live in. I'm proud of my wife and our 2 teenage boys. I'm really thrilled. You know some of my folks, Christian Collins, Thomas, Craig, some of our other folks on Team Brady do a great job. We're really blessed. Thank you so much for letting me work for you in Washington, D.C. God bless.
Thank you so much, Congressman Brady. You've been very busy. We are so very proud of the hard work and dedication of our young Republicans of Magnolia High Schools. They are our future leaders. They are the face of tomorrow. It is my privilege to welcome Caleb Wall. He is the president of the Young Republicans of Magnolia High Schools, who will be launching their new magazine tonight. Caleb?
Thank you so much. Also, thank you so much, Congressman Brady. I don't know how to follow up after something so significant as that, but we do have something pretty neat here for y'all. Like she said, I'm the president of the Young Republicans of Magnolia High Schools. A little background on our club. The reason that we founded this club is we wanted to have a club that not only was centered around one high school and then there's another club in the other. We come together, our club members are from each high school. And some of our goals for our club is to educate ourselves over the Republican values and over the political process, such as the upcoming primary. We also aim to aid both the local leaders and also the national leaders in anything that they can reach out to and ask us for help for. We demonstrate our Republican values through going out and we volunteer at the polls, and we do as many things as we can to go out and demonstrate what we have learned through different speakers that come to our club and give us information. To kind of build our own heads up, but more likely than not, we have some future leaders in our group, so we try to fine-tune our leadership skills through everything that we do. So, what we're launching tonight is the Montgomery County Republican Review. This has been a project that we've been working on for a few months. Inside this magazine, we have bios over the upcoming primary candidates, and also we have articles written by our own Young Republican members. I'd like to make a disclaimer first. We're not endorsed by Magnolia ISD, nor are we endorsing any of the candidates in there. All the ads are paid for. We did not write any of the ads. So the purpose of our magazine. I'm not sure if any of y'all know, but there is a primary coming up this March. And so we're trying to go out there and educate not only our students, but also everybody in the county. One thing that I'm most proud about for our magazine is we're reaching out to all the students that are seniors in the government classes, and we're going to try to distribute them to the seniors that are able to vote this year. Also, this is something that our club did separately. We didn't have any help from other young Republican high school clubs or nearby. So since Montgomery County is such a large county, we're going to invite other publishers to come on board with this next year, so that we can get a little bit more information out to the county, and also so we can raise money for the other clubs. And then, speaking of money, the money that we raise through this goes to printing of our magazine, and also we have a scholarship fund for the Magnolia Young Republicans that goes out to the seniors each year. And I would also like to thank last year's sponsors for the Magnolia Young Republicans Club. Constable David Hill, the Montgomery County Republican Women. They help us a lot. It's insane how much they do for us. Attorney Thomas E. Brown, and last year our banquet sponsor was Charlie Riley. So I'd like to thank them. Also, we are reaching out if anybody else would like to sponsor us this year. That is definitely welcome. Finally, we are filming this this night, and we're going to put it up on our Facebook page. So if there are any candidates that would like to have an interview, we're doing some interviews in the back room, and those will be a $75 fee that will go up on our Facebook page as well. Thank you.